All right, Shalom. I want to first start off giving our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, the men that taught us this truth through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakwadash, and peace and blessings unto the elect of the nation of Israel, which is us, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. We are the biblical Israelites, okay, the real Israelites of the scriptures. Now, this is going to be a quick lesson, Lord willing. I don't intend to make this too long. The name of it is going to be Meat Eater, and that's just based off of the name of this series on Netflix. You can go on Netflix, and one of the series that you can watch, a series program or whatever, is called Meat Eater, and it's the author and the host is a Edomite, a so-called white man by the name of Stephen Rhinella, I believe, if I remember correctly. Okay. Now I watched a couple of episodes, because you can always watch certain documentaries, watch a movie, or maybe watch a series, and learn something depending on, of course, we watching something that we can use to edify or learn from, not, sitting around watching a bunch of BS, and entertainment all the time, and we watch certain things, especially over here at Great Millstone. I can speak on that. Like I said, documentaries, and maybe a series, maybe a movie, and then we'll filter that information, picking out the bones and taking in the fish. We'll pick out that good stuff and filter it through the scriptures, So I was watching this a couple of episodes, and me or any other man that knows, Israelite man that knows these scriptures, you wouldn't be able to help but think about Esau. How, everything that you're watching in this particular series, series, it identifies the characteristics of the so-called white man, which goes back to their forefather. They go back to their forefather Esau. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read some scriptures, basic scriptures going into the birth of Esau, some characteristics about Esau that we read about. And I'm going to really filter, just by commentating on the show, certain things that I observed in the show through the scriptures, And there's been plenty of documentaries over, either whether it was a documentary or a program on the so-called white man hunting. So I'm just highlighting this particular series to, show that, the so-called white man is Esau. Okay. And that, Esau is not the Arabs. Okay. It's not Japhet. Okay, they're not Japhet. Okay, and this is just a good way to show that. Okay, so let me shut up and get into the scriptures. Right, so I want to start right here at Genesis 25 and 25. Now we all read the story. You can go up and read the story. And you can also read below, but I'm gonna hit certain scriptures. So Genesis 25:25, it says, "And the first came out red all over, like an hairy garment, and they call his name Esau." Okay, and you go into the word Esau, it's Isha, and it means wasted. Okay. And but if you look up the definition, it's gonna tell you hairy. Okay, but Seir means hairy. We read about Esau homeland, or Esau dwelt in Seir. Okay, Seir, that Hebrew word means hairy. Okay, and this lesson is not to get all into that, and I may touch on a couple of Hebrew words, but I'm trying to move through this lesson. So going into Esau, when Isaac seen his son Esau, he said Aishah, meaning wasted, because what was wasted? His pigmentation in his skin is wasted away. Okay. That's why the scriptures say right here in Genesis 25:25, he was red all over like an hairy garment. Okay. So he was red because his blood showed forth through his skin. His pigment was wasted away. Pigmentation was wasted away. All right. Now, we say that about the Arabs or Japhet? No, the only one that fits that bill is the so-called white man. Now let's go right here. It says, and after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob, and Isaac was 80 years old when she bare. Now let me jump to a particular verse looking for. Let's see. And I'm gonna, speak as I'm reading through these scriptures. I'm gonna make certain interjections about interject and bring out information about what I observed in watching this series, Meat Eater. So Genesis 20, so I'll go right here. Y'all keep reading, Salakia. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. Now let's examine this verse and talk about this series at the same time and do the filtration process. Okay. Genesis 25:27, it says, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter. Now let's go into the word cunning. All right. Because that's what this show is about. It's showing how Esau is an expert at hunt when it comes to hunting. All right. The red man, okay. Esau, because his blood show forth through it, shows him as and how he's a skillful hunter. So let's look at the word right here. It's Yadai, and we go right here. Now I went through this already. It says to know, learn to know, to perceive, and see, find out, and discern, to demonstrate, distinguish, to know by experience. Okay, now let's keep going. It says to recognize, admit, acknowledge, confess, to consider, to know, be acquainted with, because is me and personally, I live down here in Texas, Houston, Texas, and I know a lot of Edomites. Well, over the years, I've met a lot of Edomites, and that live out in the country, so to speak, in the rural areas, and they love to hunt. Okay, they talk about it. They women get into it with them. The children get involved. When a young man or when a boy becomes a man, these Edomites take their sons and show them how to, shoot a rifle and how to hunt. Now let's keep reading these definitions. It says to know, to be acquainted with. It says to know a person carnally. Now I'm going to read this one right here and I'm going to stop. It says to know how, be skillful in. Okay, so Esau got the knowledge of hunting. Okay, because that's in his spirit. All right. And it says skillful in. Esau's a skillful hunter. All right. Let's go back. And I want to look at that verse again. All right. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter. Nobody is more skillful when it comes to hunting. In this particular case, we're talking about animals, right? And his prize that he loves to hunt is deer. He keep those deer horns or deer, what's they call? I can't think of the not the horns, but the reins on. They'll hang them up in their house. Okay, the things they catch, they keep the fur to just to brag, really bragging rights and to show their pride of how great of a hunter they are, And thing I was gonna say was when I looked at the show, these devils, they make certain instruments to mimic the sounds of these different animals, like the elk. They got a device that they made, and they blow into it, and it makes it imitates the sound of an elk. Okay, they have some Edomites are so skillful they don't even need the device they made, and they can imitate the sounds of certain birds, like the turkey, know how to make turkey noises, or make so skillful that they can make certain to for an example show that the animal is in heat. Okay, it takes skill to know that. Another thing I observed was they pay attention to the direction of the wind. Okay, and before I get into that part, first they can go out there. This Edomite Stephen, I think Ryan, what the damn, I can't think of the last name. Ryan, can't think of the guy's last name. I said it at the beginning of the video, but anyway, the host and author, he was able to smell the animal, smell the elk, and it wasn't right around him, right there close up on him. We talking about, maybe 100 feet or so, or give or take. Well, I said 100 yards, maybe 50 yards. I'm not sure on the distance, but it was definitely not right up on them, and they could smell where the elk was. So, they pay attention to the direction of the wind, and they would make sure that their scent, the Edomites' body scent wouldn't carry over to the elk. I'm just using this as an example, something I observed in watching this, and so that the elk wouldn't know that they that man is out there and run off, So I was looking at this and I'm like, God damn, Esau is a damn expert. He was out there with bow and arrows. They was killing deer with bow and arrows. Now, the scriptures tell us, if you jump over to Genesis, and I'm not going to get it But if you jump over to Genesis, the 27th chapter, around the 39th verse, it goes into the account where Isaac gave Esau his blessing, which was the sword. And we know the modern day sword is the gun. And Esau uses that rifle with precision to kill these animals because he's a cunning hunter, you know. Now let's go on and read. It says, and Isaac loved Esau because he did eat his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. And see, it talks about venison. He loved, or he did eat venison. I'm sorry. Esau did eat venison. And Esau, his favorite thing to hunt, like out of all things he could hunt, deer is his favorite. Okay? You talk to these Edomites that's in the hunting, you watch these shows, big game, those big bucks, you know, they love to brag about how they catch these big deer, you know. So let's read on. So it says, and Jacob saw pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. A man of the field. You know, this devil was hanging up in trees. We talking about all day. Then I come back the next day and hang up in the tree all day to catch that deer. You know, they camouflage themselves, hide in the grass. They pay attention to every little detail, you know. And when you watch, you like it does take a high level of skill to hunt at the level that they hunt, you know. But this is how we know that the so-called white man goes back to their forefather Esau, okay, which is the father of the Edomites. So we reading right here, it says, and Esau said to Jacob, Genesis 25 and 30, and Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. All right. Now, when you go into the word Edom, it's Adawam. We go right up here to Salakia, godly. But this is what I'll do. I'm gonna look this word up real quick. Come on. Okay, Mom. All right, here it goes. So we look up Edom, and it got Adom, but it's Adawam. It's Adawam, but when we go to the definition, it says red. Okay. Now, what you do when you'll see Adawam right here. In the Masoretic text, if you look right here, the last word in this verse is Edom. Then you go right here and you look at this word, it's Adawam. Okay, so Edom, which means red. Now, if we go back to the verse, it tell you that he wanted that red pottage, right? That stew. And the meat wasn't cooked all the way, so that it had blood in it still. He said, "Feed me with that same red pottage." Okay, and it also showed they had killed the elk on that one of the episodes, and they went and cooked it. And when they went to eat and they cut that elk, blood was gushing up out of it. Yeah, blood was literally coming up out of it, you know. So that's how they like their meat. They like their meat with blood in it. Okay? Like the deer, like the cow, steak. They like bloody meat. All right. Now, them Arabs, majority of them Arabs are well, shit. Really, all them and the Arabs are into Islam, right? They're Muslims, right? They cook their food, they cook their meat all the way. They don't believe in eating meat with the blood in it. Okay, them tribes over there in the Middle East. Okay, they eat their meat cooked all the way. They don't eat bloody meat. The one that loves bloody meat in the earth is the so-called white man. All right. So that's pretty much it. I think it was something else I was gonna bring out, but I can't remember. So his name was changed. His name was changed to Edom, which means red, because he likes red blood. So that's it. Lord, this lesson was edifying. It was interesting watching this, and I said I can do a quick lesson on it. So like I said, Lord willing, I hope this lesson was edifying and exhorting to our spirits. Once again, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, a great millstone, the men that taught us this truth through the Spirit, and peace and blessings unto the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.